谈过这个问题。我现在所有的资料来讲，大部分的人就是占绝大多数人呢都支持这个小西贡，而反对这个越南西贡商业区。我想这个小西贡支持它的原因呢，一方面就是说在加州有很多地方移民很集中的地方，像Westminster、Garden Grove、San Francisco、Sacramento、Fresno，他们那个这一区呢都是叫做小西贡。所以如果我们San Jose有这一区也叫做小西贡的话，就会好像会跟其他的这些在这个加州。
Ở đâu cũng về ha, đừng có nhìn chung hơn á. Người Việt Nam mà.
Is there a motion? Motion by Vice Mayor Cortez to approve the consent calendar. All in favor? Opposed? None opposed. That carries unanimously. Was that it? Land use? I told you the land use would be simple and short. Okay. Now we'll move on to item 9.1, which is the approval of designation of a Vietnamese business district. We have a lot of people who want to speak on this item. I don't know if the clerk has collected all the cards yet or not. If you wish to speak, fill out one of the yellow cards. I'll let our staff get into position.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Ed Shikata, Deputy City Manager, joined by Richard Key from the Redevelopment Agency. I'd like to give you just a brief introduction on the item. Back in June, the City Council directed staff to conduct outreach on the recognition of the area of Story Road between Center Road and 101 Freeway as a Vietnamese business district. As your staff report indicates, we have conducted 2 community meetings as well as a survey of the area surrounding the proposed district. Early on, as a part of the outreach, it became evident that there was no significant opposition to a
Mr. Mayor and council members, I share with you the privilege and honor of representing the people of San Jose. As a fellow elected official and as a friend of the Vietnamese American community, I urge you to designate the retail area on Story Road as Little Saigon. to Vietnamese communities. We have great established Little Saigon in Garden Grove, San Francisco, Sacramento, and Westminster. Many of our Vietnamese residents come from Saigon and the surrounding area. The name Little Saigon reminds them of Nixon George and symbolizes freedom from a repressive government. Other names, such as Saigon Business District, lack the significance, in my opinion, of Little Saigon. I believe that Little Saigon is much more appropriate. I strongly recommend
Jan Nguyen, Supervisor from Orange County, and then Andy Kwok, City Council Member from Richmond.
I have seen firsthand the appeal of the Little Saigon name on tourism and retail consumers. Not only is this a catchy name, which carries an emotional appeal to our resident and evokes a nostalgia that is inviting to our businesses. Little Saigon in Orange County receives over 1 million tourists a year. The name Little Saigon emphasizes the first Vietnamese immigrant to this country. As those of you who are familiar with this community, the fall of Saigon in 1975 continues to be a very emotional subject for this community. Many experience firsthand the horrors that come with the rise of the communists in Vietnam. And those who could left the land of their birth for the promise of freedom and democracy. Now, ironically, it seems that this issue of naming this community, their community in San Jose, is threatened to be decided in the most undemocratic way. The results of your own survey, the San Jose Redevelopment Agency, found that Little Saigon received over 37.6% of support. And the name that you're choosing tonight was ranked bottom.
I'm sorry, your time is up. Thank you. Now we'd like to go to
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council Member. Before I begin, I just want to compliment you on what a beautiful City Hall you have. I'm very envious. But it's great for me to be here. It is indeed a big honor for me. And I'll be short because I know I have just 1 minute. I just want to give you a little history of how Little Saigon started out in Westminster, where I represent. It started out with one restaurant and maybe a few retail shops. Well, today, Little Saigon transcends all physical boundaries and encompasses 4 cities, home to over 4,000 businesses, as well as over 250,000 people. And it has evolved very much in the same manner as the Vietnamese American community have in San Jose. And I implore you to seriously reconsider naming this area Little Saigon. To the maker of the motion, please consider adding the word little to your motion, making it the Little Saigon Business District. And for those of you who came to this meeting tonight, who already made up your mind, please seriously do reconsider, as the will of the people, I believe, have already spoken. And with that, I would like to thank you for allowing me to make this comment and seriously consider what the people of your community is wanting. Thank you very much.
From all over the United States to similar area in many other cities. Council member, the name Little Saigon not only has proven its marketable brand, but also helped to define our political identification of the Vietnamese community here throughout the United States. Adopting any generic name like Saigon or any other name, as evident by all the polls and survey, clearly does not suffice. We ask the City Council member today to recognize the brand name and the trademark, and the unity of the majority of our Vietnamese political refugees tonight is for economic prosperity, as well as in accordance to the wish of the people, hundreds of people in here, and more than 1,000 people standing outside on the coast. We already asked for one name, Little Saigon.